about what? I know.
Okay.
We're recording.
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay. Hi.
Yep.
Welcome to episode 34 of Can I Just Say One Thing podcast. I'm Demi.
I'm Jess. We're both sitting here pretty disappointed.
Uh-huh.
We're both disappointed because we're just not happy with the ending of Game of Thrones.
No.
We said that last night, or at least I said this last night. I just want to see if you're on the same page. That I would have been fine with Bran being the king if they at all even made it seem like that was even like a possibility. It wasn't even in the realm.
Yeah.
Like the Red Wedding catching me off guard. I loved that because it
caught you off guard because it's another main character like Ned, and you just can't believe that they kill main characters like that so brutally and violently, and like it really throws you. But after it happens, you can look back and be like, I mean,
it was brilliant writing.
Rob betrayed Walder Frey, and Walder Frey's character is nasty.
Exactly.
That is who Walder Frey is. So that doesn't surprise us whatsoever that happened. Just like even now, I'm not happy that Ned was decapitated.
Never.
But he was, because that's who Joffrey's character was.
And Ned was also so honorable.
Exactly.
Like, it got in the way of...
It did.
Of being smart.
Exactly. So the things that happen in Game of Thrones that are shocking and crazy are shocking and crazy to watch, but not like, wait, why? You never watch those things and say why.
Yeah, because you understand why it happened.
No, oh, that sucks. I love that character, but like I see how that happened. I don't see how this happened. It was so blindsiding and so jarring. I was just
just ridiculous, to be honest.
It really was, because multiple times Bran has said that he's basically not a human, wants nothing to do with this stuff. So everybody's saying like, Jon didn't want it. It's like, well, what's the difference?
Yeah, exactly.
Bran didn't want it.
Yeah, truly.
Bran's gonna go check up on a dragon.
He's already doing less than everybody else in that room. Yet again. And I keep saying that this morning I was yelling at Shiloh. Like, poor guy. I felt so bad because it was like, I was seriously screaming. And I was like, I'm so sorry. I'm obviously not mad at you. Yeah. I was like, I guess I'm just more angry than I realized I was. Because I told you today, Bran wasn't even in a whole season. There was a whole season he did not make one appearance in. Not one appearance.
Did not give us anything.
I know.
Even when he was the three-eyed raven, we didn't even get to see
learn
anything.
Yeah.
We gained no knowledge.
We found out what Dragonglass does without him because of Samwell Tarly. We learned about...
They defeated the White Walkers without him.
And we also knew about Aegon Targaryen without him too, because...
Sam.
Well, Gilly read it and then Sam realized it. Yeah.
But... And, like, all Bran did was confirm.
Because
but, like,
he
did
has
you
powers?
Even need... Yeah, like...
Yeah.
It's
just... No.
It was disappointing.
I liked the season.
I did, too. I was okay.
Until the last hour of the final episode.
I was like, okay, like, there's been some indication that Danny's going mad and this is fine, I guess. Like, not my favorite way to do it. And I don't know how many times I can possibly say this. It should have been 10 to 12 episodes, if not 2 more seasons.
Truly. And that's up until last night's episode when they announced Bran as king. My biggest problem with the series is that it was too rushed. That was my biggest problem until last night's episode, where it was just, and then like there was like slapstick humor, and I'm like, I don't really need this like comedic relief. That's not what I come here for. I come here to see people try to get at each other. Like the thing with the uncle was fine because it was Sansa being like, that was great, but not like the whole like democracy, basically stuff. It's just, I don't need that type of humor from this show, you know. So. And also, Grey Worm would have immediately killed Jon Snow once he found out Daenerys was killed by him. There would have 100%. Been no holding him 100%. As prisoner. There's no reason to.
And I'm sorry, why was Tyrion allowed to go to this council meeting and speak and sway the entire kingdom?
I don't know. He was also...
And make the call of who is now going to be the leader.
And he was there to be judged. Like, that's what the whole point was. And then all of a sudden...
It's so not believable.
No. Not... Every single freaking season was so good.
Yeah.
Even the ones where they didn't have books to go off of, before this season. It was just lazy. Mm-hmm. It was lazy.
Okay, so from my understanding, the directors, like, got some type of influence from George R.R. Martin.
Yeah, I mean, they knew that Bran was supposed to be king. So that's fine that he's supposed to be that way. But also lead up to that. Don't just be like, the stories are what bring everybody together.
Did George help write the script?
I think he's just like a producer or something like that, a co-producer on it. I would have been like, no.
Don't see him in that.
Yeah.
It's so, like, I said this a million times, but this is just, like, really is how I feel the most about it, is that it just seemed very Hollywood. Mm-hmm. It seemed like, and I don't mean this as an insult because I know that you like Avengers. It seemed more Avengers style
totally.
than, like, Game of Thrones dark.
Right.
Like,
yeah. I absolutely know what you're talking about, and I don't take that offensive at all. Because that's like totally,
I didn't mean it. I wasn't trying to like.
No, but no, it does make sense why you're saying that though, because Avengers is kind of known for having a little bit of comedy and like it still can be, but it's not like dark serious. Yeah. It's not like you're mass murdering people on a dragon. You know what I mean?
Yeah, it's different. It just seemed a different Avengers.
Yeah,
to me. Never seen it, but yeah, it just didn't feel like Game of Thrones feels.
Right. No, I absolutely agree with you on that one.
So
now we're drinking to forget this last episode, and it was so good until when Daenerys.
And I still love them, and I'm still gonna watch, but maybe I'm just done at season 6 because truly season 7 didn't really do anything for me either.
Right. I kind of want to truly wait a few years.
Rewatch.
Just to like fresh eyes, maybe it'll flow together if I'm watching it. I basically did rewatch all of them, but like taking a beat and being like, maybe it just, I mean, it is, I hate having to say it is what it is, but it is like,
I know.
We can't do anything about it.
The petition is absolutely ridiculous.
It's stupid.
And so also what Kit Harington said, like, I don't give a fuck what anybody thinks. Like, I know how hard I worked. That's fine that you worked hard. It still wasn't good.
Yeah. Yeah. It's not your acting. It's the writing.
No, it wasn't. It just wasn't good enough for
what we expect.
Exactly. The fans are so disappointed because like you've taken us on this journey where like you do read subliminal messages in characters' eyes.
Yeah, exactly.
That's what you've trained us to do as an audience and read into phrases and hand gesture. It just like you really study each character and you get to know each character so well. So truly to be spoon-fed and have nothing come out like shocking or like, oh, that's a reference to this and so that ties in and that makes sense. There's none of that.
Nothing. And
there
also
was nothing
was explained, even though like I know the Night King is long dead, but like all of the symbolism of the Night King like putting bodies in certain like why did that even happen? Honestly, why did we even need to know that Jon Snow was Aegon Targaryen? What did that even serve? Besides, like, Dany having, like, you know, being like, oh, well, you're the one true heir. But I don't think that's what made her go mad. I think what made her go...
it added to it.
Sure, but, like, I'm sure she probably would have done it anyway because Cersei was in the Red Keep, you know? Like, I'm sure something would have happened where she probably...
I don't know, because now that I'm thinking about that, like, I don't know if she would have gone as crazy. I don't think she would have destroyed the peasants.
Who knows though?
I mean, true, like it's all speculation now, but I just didn't feel a connection to the characters this season. That's all. Yeah, like I just didn't.
Yeah,
but I guess I have to rewatch, and I will, and I'll just whatever. But it just felt very simple, whereas we are used to complicated, and we've been trained
and like mastery.
Yeah. We've been trained
acting,
to
art.
Be complicated or accept complicated and go back and reflect on the things that the characters tell each other. And For what now?
And, like, I get, like, I'm even irritated with, like, Brienne at the end of the thing, like, died for his queen. I'm just like, you don't even need to add that in there. No. Why are you even doing that right now? Why are you
acting like he was so honorable?
He left you to go be with his sister.
Yeah. Yeah.
You know, like...
What was the point of the Lord of Light? And...
To bring back Jon Snow to fulfill that, but, like...
But then to go to the wall?
To go back to the wall.
Like, truly, like... and why the wall? What are we doing at the wall?
Nothing.
What are we protecting from? Because the wildlings are there.
Mm-hmm.
And there's no more White Walkers. Mm-hmm. I'm getting a little upset.
Yeah. Yep. This is why I was yelling this morning.
I know. Yeah, I just... it could have been better.
It absolutely could. It should have been better.
But let's end on a positive with Game of Thrones. Our feast yesterday.
Oh my God, our party was so fun.
You guys.
It was literally the best.
It was.
It couldn't have been better.
No. The party was unreal.
Please explain. Please tell.
Did you take a picture of the buffet?
I took a video.
Great. We're going to post
perfect.
it.
Yeah, we'll definitely post it.
It was unreal because my fiance, who's the best of all time, made, what are they called? Puns for all the food.
All the food.
We had
in Game of Thrones font, by the way. He downloaded a font that was like Game of Thrones.
Yeah, he did Game of Thrones font, and we had Dothraki dip and bacon wrapped needles, asparagus, Clegane bowl of chowder.
Oh, so good.
Shiloh homemade from scratch,
all of it,
crust and all. Butchered the meat himself. Just kidding.
Maybe. No.
Frey pies.
The best
with
pies. Stark sigils on them.
Stark sigils that he cut out himself. Mm-hmm. It was not a stamp. It was, he cut it himself. Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm. I want it for dinner. I'm having it for dinner.
Oh, good.
Yeah.
And
but
then,
maybe lunch too.
Oh, yeah. Yes. And then we had the Joffrey Sangria. And then they had, what were the...
San Salsas, Hodoritos.
So cute.
Wildfire shots.
Jello shots. They were so good.
It was made with rum, not vodka. That's why.
Ooh, so good. Yeah. And then we also had dragon wings. They were wings from our favorite place to get Chicago Fire wings. Yeah, it was seriously so much fun. It was
crazy. Jeremy's my soon-to-be brother-in-law, and he made these drinks called The Wall, and they were made with dry ice.
I was so scared. I didn't even have a whole one. Yeah, I only had a sip of Shiloh's.
And we'll post a video of that, too, of the dry ice in the drinks, which is awesome. And then Brett and I labeled everybody's glasses. Like,
oh my God, the cleverest.
It was Shiloh...
he was
Warden of Midtown.
No, Lord of Midtown.
Lord of Midtown.
And then I was Lady of Midtown. Yeah.
I was Dimitropoulos, first of her name. Benny Littlefinger. I know, and then he changed it to Cal Benny. Such an idiot. I love it. So funny. I like Megan's the most, I think. Megan Lear, Protector of the Realm. Mm-hmm. I do not know why I didn't name Sam Samwell Tarly. Like, what am I thinking?
I know.
I'm an idiot.
No,
Redo.
You're not an idiot. Yeah. Okay, let's do that party again.
I would do it in a second.
It was so much fun. Mm-hmm. It was epic. Mm-hmm. So yeah, that was the highlight. Such a highlight. Frey pies. They're so good. Mm-hmm. He thought he had to make. He was like, "Oh, maybe I should make 7 of them." We didn't even go through.
Mm-hmm. I couldn't believe you guys were trying to walk out there with 2.
You're like, nah.
I was like, what are you
I'm
doing?
the one that offered it up, and he was just like, oh, yeah, you can have it. And I was like, yes, you can have it. We still have another one at home we need to cook.
Are you serious? Yeah. Okay, great. You're opening a bakery.
He should. With his cookies.
Just that cookie that he makes and those pies. That's it. Cookie and pie.
Probably be fine.
Pie cookie.
Well, then he was like, oh, with that pie crust, I can do like a Mexican pie and, you know, all this. Yeah. And I'm like, okay, do it then.
Prove it.
Anyway, should we get into what we're doing today? Okay. Yeah. We are reading not our favorite murder, but we're kind of like what got us introduced into true crime to begin with. Mm-hmm. Do you want to go first, or do you want me to go first?
Do you want to rock, paper, scissors?
Should we do it the way that we do it? Just 1 out of 1?
I won.
You did?
I
won. Wait, yeah, real quick.
Okay, so my mother invented a game. Thanks, Mom. She invented a game. She was pissed at this episode, by the way. Like, Mom was mad.
Yeah.
she created a game with all the characters that were still alive in Game of Thrones. And before the show started, we all voted who we thought was going to live and who was going to die and who might turn into a White Walker, because White Walker was supposed to be a big thing, but it wasn't.
Just a couple people.
So then it was a tie between me, Benny, and Sam. And fun fact, Benny and I had on the front and the back page, matching.
So crazy.
We didn't do it together.
Nope.
Like
He
matching.
did it a week later.
He did it a week later, yeah. And mine, we had like 1 or 2 off on the first page and like 2 off on the second.
Yeah.
But we had the same score.
Yeah.
So it was me and Benny and Sam. And then we just did rock, paper, scissors, and I won.
And what'd you win?
I won hold the door stop. It says Hodor.
It's so clever. Mom, that's such a good
Thanks,
gift.
Mom.
So yeah, that was fun.
And I win.
Oh yeah, so we're doing rock, paper, scissors.
Oh yeah.
Okay.
Ready? Stop. Start over. Ready? I win.
So what does that mean? Would you want to go first or last?
I would go last.
Okay. Okay.
I never know what that means.
Okay. So I've talked about this before.
Okay.
I got introduced to true crime. Well, turns out my mom actually likes true crime, but I didn't know that until like a year ago. But true crime because of Unsolved Mysteries.
Of course.
We've talked about this,
yes.
of course. Of the cold cases, because they're also paranormal.
Do you prefer
parts.
cold cases?
No, not really.
Okay,
I don't typically
me either.
like cold.
I don't either.
That's how I got introduced
Got
into
it.
it, you know? But Unsolved Mysteries is also known for like their paranormal stuff too, but I was never into that.
Are they?
Yeah, they have a whole bunch, like almost every episode kind of has something weird too.
I did not know.
Yeah, not everyone, but a lot of the episodes.
Isn't the theme song really scary?
It's 80s. It's not even, it is scary. Like when I listen to it now, I'm wondering how I was able to listen to it as a child.
I remember being absolutely terrified.
Yeah. It's very 80s, like piano-y kind of thing. Yeah. So, but again, I didn't care about the paranormal stuff. And then I would stay home from school when I was sick and watch it. And then I'd also watch Golden Girls and Cheers. You know, you gotta like have balance.
Death and Golden Girls.
Obviously.
Soon to be death.
Well, I'm learning about true crime, and then Golden Girls are
retirement.
But also like women that like are doing what they want to freaking do because they're empowered.
Yes. Women
Don't
forever.
get me.
Also, we're going to a rally tomorrow, so.
Yes, we are. Can't wait for that. Okay. So the show first started, Unsolved Mysteries first started. It was only supposed to be a 7-episode series.
What?
Yeah. And they had 3 different people hosting it. A guy by named Raymond Burr. He was a Canadian-American actor.
You're going to say
Don't
comedian?
Know. Comedian.
That's
No.
like bad choice.
Yeah, bad choice. Canadian. Don't know what he was a part of, but it's definitely like older movies, like black and white movies and stuff like that. And then Carl Malden is an American actor. Also don't know who he's in, but I think he was in like Alfred Hitchcock movies or something like that. And then Robert Stack, who we kind of know as like the guy who does the voice.
Names,
yeah, I mean, I don't know
saw
either,
him.
but exactly. Or if you heard his voice, you would know what I'm
I can hear it in my voice.
my voice.
I can hear it in my voice.
So it became a regular television program in October 1988. So I'm doing a story. It's actually in season 3. It's the story of Rena and Danny Paquette. And what happens in this is that...
Did this story, like, stand out to you? Like,
no, I just saw it. And it also has somewhat of an ending because I wanted to find one that was, like, maybe solved, you know? Because I really actually don't like it being left off and people just roaming free and murdering and stuff, you know? So two teenage girls' bodies were found after being raped and murdered. Their names were Pamela Mason, and Sandra Valdi. Sure. And I mean, like, horrific. Like, he beat them and then, like, stabbed them and all this stuff.
Where was this? Where?
Oh, shit. Maybe that's good to know.
Cut it.
It's in New Hampshire, maybe? Yeah, New Hampshire.
Okay.
So, that might be good to know.
Sorry.
So, I feel like we also should say we're doing these murders because we're reading George and Karen's book next month. That's why we did. But in this episode.
Oh.
Yeah, you know.
Yeah,
whatever.
you guys read it, like, whatever.
That's fine. It's okay. Okay, so, Rena called the police to say she thinks she knows who murdered these girls.
Okay.
Police never followed up on her tip.
Cool.
And then on February 3rd, 1964, so these girls died in 1964, Rena's 13-year-old son, Danny, can't find his mother. Is looking around the whole entire house, can't find her anywhere. So he calls his uncle, and it's in the dead of winter. Her coat is still there. Her purse is still there. She wouldn't have left without either of those things because it was also freezing.
Was she married? Like, did she have a husband or?
I don't know. It didn't actually say in the story. She does have 5 kids though.
Oh wow.
But it doesn't say if she's married or not.
Her son is there and looking for her.
Yeah. Okay. Yeah. So he's the one that's looking for her, and so he calls the uncle, and the uncle comes over, and they're looking for over an hour, and they see like a fire happening in one of the barns that's a mile away from like the main house.
Okay.
And he goes in and he sees his mom burned.
Oh.
And dead.
Okay.
Yep. Mm-hmm. So they call the police.
He found his mom. Shit.
I know. Yeah, and they do the whole reenactment on the show too.
Great.
You know, I
mean, A+ acting,
80s acting, the most 80s intro. I mean, truly.
I love it, but no, I hate it.
But the 80s part. Yeah.
Got it.
So they call the police. The police come, and the authorities somehow thought that she lit herself on fire.
Women do that when they're on their periods.
Yeah.
Yes.
Daenerys Targaryen lit stuff on
Full
fire.
circle it.
Yeah. Exactly. Yep. So they thought maybe she lit herself on fire and put herself in the barn.
Sure. Put her away.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
But obviously no. Even though
wait, what?
So she had no flammable substances on her. She probably was killed before. But they still ruled it as a suicide. So
if you needed proof that this country hates women, please refer to Jess's story.
Yeah, exactly. So out of her 5 children, Danny seemed most affected by Rena's death. Danny was a troubled youth and also a troubled adult. He did get married and have kids, but lost custody when him and his wife got divorced. Okay. Danny was arrested for going to his ex-wife's house to go see the kids when he wasn't allowed to do so. Okay. Instead of going to prison though or jail, they sent him to a psychiatric hospital.
Oh, so he was like...
No, he broke. He's been having
since
issues.
13.
Yeah, since
got
13
it. Since finding his mom burning. Cool.
Yeah, exactly. And then nobody taking it serious. They think it's a suicide.
80s. Got it.
Yeah, 80s. Mm-hmm. So he goes to a psychiatric hospital, and at the hospital he underwent hypnosis to recall what happened in his past.
Oh my God.
And he ends up recalling a memory. I
love this. This is one of my favorite things that happens in true crime.
With recalling memories and stuff? Oh my gosh, absolutely. So he recalls a time where he hears his mother arguing with a arguing with the delivery man, Edward Coolidge, who he thinks killed his mother. And now Coolidge was actually arrested a few weeks after Rena's death in connection to the murder of one of the girls.
No. That she had information on.
Yes.
Okay, go on, hurry. I need to know.
Stop. So in connection to the murder of one of the previous girls, Pamela Mason. He was not connected to their one. Yeah,
were they found together?
No, separate, but same
circumstances.
Mm-hmm,
okay.
Mm-hmm. And he was sentenced to life in prison for her murder.
Okay.
After Danny, we're going back to Danny. After Danny was released from the hospital, he tries to make a better life for himself. Okay. But on November 9th, 1985, Danny was repairing a bulldozer, and around 11 a.m., Danny's friends heard a loud pop. Danny was shot through the heart with a single bullet and died instantly. 20 years after his mother's death.
From who? What?
So.
Stop it.
Turns.
Twist.
Squiggles. Yeah.
Okay.
Cops found footprints, and it looked like someone was running away from the scene. Cops thought he was accidentally shot, though, because it was the first day of hunting season. And there was a hunting pit about a mile away. But they do like a whole analysis, a whole crime scene analysis, all this stuff. It would have been impossible for him to be hit from that hunting pit because the bullet would have had to dodge and do all these crazy things like JFK style, like bullet warping kind of stuff. Like they wouldn't have been able to go through all these different areas. So In 2005, 20 years after Danny's death.
Okay.
Eric Windhurst, a friend of Danny's stepdaughter. So Danny was remarried, had a stepdaughter.
Okay.
Or even his wife. I don't know. Anyway, he had a stepdaughter. Okay. So Melanie Cooper is her name. So her friend Eric Windhurst pleaded guilty to his murder. Melanie told Eric that Danny sexually abused her, and Windhurst killed him. Okay. And was sentenced.
So it didn't have a connection. Mm-hmm. It did have a connection?
It had a connection because it was his stepdaughter's friend that murdered him because she said that Danny had sexually abused her in the past.
But it's not a connection to the two girls.
Nope, not a connection to his mom or to the two girls.
Got it. Okay? Separate but crazy.
Exactly.
Got it.
So he's sentenced
his family has really bad luck.
Truly bad luck.
Okay.
Yeah. Windhurst is sentenced to 15 to 36 years. Melanie, because she knew it had happened and was there when it happened.
An accessory.
Yeah, she was there when he actually shot him. Mm-hmm. Was sentenced to 3 to 5 years. So she's already been long out. Weirdly, Windhurst's family, the guy that shot Danny, knew about him killing Danny the whole entire time. It was just like an open family secret. Nobody said anything. Mm-hmm. Windhurst tried to get his sentence reduced in 2016, but it was denied. He is now eligible for release as early as 2020. Yeah.
I mean...
what?
It's not great.
No.
It's not a great reason, but also, like, he's not... Are you okay?
Yes. I did get wine on your wall.
I don't care. Color it red.
Fine, I will. Obviously. Okay, what were you going to say? I don't get it, but what?
He's not, like, a killer.
No.
Like, he's not
murdering to murder.
Right. Okay. Yeah.
So, Rena's body was exhumed after her death and was switched from a suicide to unknown. But her murder is still an unsolved mystery.
Okay.
Like, I would put unsolved mystery in that. Now, I found this article about the guy convicted of killing Pamela and who is a suspect in killing Rena.
Right. Yeah.
Okay, so... this guy,
what are your sources? What
this one is from New Hampshire Magazine.
Okay.
A New Hampshire This is from Unsolved Mysteries Wikipedia page.
Great.
Like, no, like an actual page, no, just a Wikipedia for Unsolved Mysteries only.
Oh.
Yeah, like about the episodes and stuff like that.
Cool.
It's unsolvedmysteries.wiki.com or something like that. Yeah, something close to that. So the guy, I already forgot his name. What's his name?
Eric?
Edward Coolidge.
That's what I said.
I know you did. I heard it. So he was actually let go from prison because of the way his case was handled and how they were obtained a search warrant and do all this stuff. So all these technicalities, after being convicted of the murder of Pamela and being suspect in 2 other murders, he was able to get let go. So his case has made it, it's influential in New Hampshire in general because they have made it like a really known, like how you have to get a warrant, how you have to abide by the law, and how you have to do this so that way it's not repeated in the past.
In doing those things
in the 1980s.
Oh my God.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yep. So anyway, that's the story of Rena and Danny Paquette.
Crazy.
R.I.P. You know.
R.I.P. But
yeah.
Wow.
Yeah. Wow. Super quick, but why not be quick? I know.
That like isn't connected.
No, it's weird. It's kind of strange. So like they thought that maybe Danny was killed because because after he went because after he went under and recovered his memory, they're like, oh no, it's definitely because the guy was out of prison,
right?
You know, and it turns out no, it was some random guy that knew his stepdaughter.
That's crazy.
Yeah.
My turn? Mm-hmm. All right. So I am doing, I guess it's kind of like a hometown, but it really is what like
triggered
true crime for me before I knew what it was. Yep. It was just so fascinating that this was happening in real time in my life. This happened in June of 1998, and this happened in Monterey when I was living there.
1998? So you're 8 years old.
I was 8 years old, and the girl that I'm going to talk about was named Christina Williams.
Okay.
I can see her face.
What? How old was she?
13.
Okay.
She was 13. I was 8. So, like, pretty close in age, you know. just the fact that she was a girl that went to a middle school that like I could have gone to, and
Absolutely.
just in my area, I drove through the place that she lived every single day. It was just very, very close to home.
Absolutely.
So the story goes like this. Christina Williams was 13 years old in 1998. She went out walking her dog around, I think they said like 6:30 at night. The dog's name was Greg.
Oh, that's cute.
So
I love
funny.
when dogs' names are like totally like normal.
Gregory.
Yeah.
Stop digging in the garden.
Yeah.
So she took Greg out for a walk. About an hour later, Greg came home dragging his leash. Christina was nowhere to be found.
Oh, Jesus.
So.
And this is the 80s. So
98.
98. Oh, 98. We said
1998.
You were 8 years old. Wow. I promise.
So they, so her mom found Greg at the front door, and so obviously they were like, where is Christina?
Right.
So they, I think they called the police, and the night of the disappearance, there was a land management ranger. His name was Ronnie Lewis, and he was contacted for his canine unit services. And they followed a trail, but it went cold. So there was a massive search for her that night. And so she just disappeared without a trace.
Oh, God. That's horrible.
Every day on the radio, they were updating us. It was on the news every day.
So you heard it?
Every day. Every day.
So what were they saying?
Just like...
If you've seen her?
No news. If you see her, her face was Monterey. Every corner you saw Christina Williams.
Wow.
So this happened in Fort Ord, and Fort Ord is like an army base, and it's like it's lots of barracks and like abandoned barracks. So I think I don't think it's active. It may be active.
There are places in that area that are not inactive, though.
Right.
Like they're just like or like old bunkers or whatever.
Right, exactly.
They're all over the place.
They are everywhere, and Fort Ord is huge. Like there is so much just land.
And she lived close to there, so that's
she lived there.
Oh, she lived there.
In Fort Ord. Her dad was in the military.
Gotcha.
They were living in Okinawa, Japan, I believe, and they transferred.
Wow.
To Fort Ord, and they were there for less than a year when this happened.
Oh,
I know.
It should never happen, but like that's. Ugh.
Yeah. So 7 months later. Oh, and actually what's interesting is there were celebrities. So Clint Eastwood used to be the mayor of Carmel. He lives in that.
I did not know that.
Yeah, he lives in the area still. So Clint Eastwood, Mariah Carey, Reggie Jackson, who's a professional baseball player, they all made public service announcements on the story. Anderson Cooper, what is his show? Anderson Cooper 360. Posted $100,000 reward for any information.
It's been around that long, Anderson 360. Whoa.
Yeah. And it was also on America's Most Wanted.
Wow.
So it was a huge, huge case. There were several suspects, and I remember them posting pictures around, and it was like a tall, skinny guy and a short, fat guy.
Interesting. So like two very opposite looking people.
I mean,
so anywhere in between.
Exactly. There was nobody that was like of interest,
and it's
enough.
Like sucky because she's 13. It's not like she can't go walking out by herself. Freaking, I was staying at home by myself by 9 and 10 years old.
Her mom told her to go for a walk, like go take Greg on a walk.
Yes, because that makes sense. You're 13 years old.
Yep. So 7 months later, 7 months exactly, a woman was walking in Fort Ord and came across human remains. She called the cops. They came and did a search. They found a femur, a skull, torso, or a
like ribs.
Yeah. And tested positively from the dental records that it was Christina.
No. Christina.
And I remember we were talking about this in my daycare. Like the daycare instructors, we would sit, this is so, like, how old am I actually? We would sit around a radio and listen to like the daily update about Christina.
Well, also it makes kids aware that like stranger danger is real and like anything can, I mean, I know it might not be like something parents want to do, but I think it's very, very, very important to stress that like stuff like this unfortunately happens because we don't live in a perfect world.
Exactly.
We don't.
No.
You know?
So yeah, I remember just being so fascinated that whole time because I would go home and have dinner and get in bed, and I was like, what is Christina doing right now? I would think of her, like
Yeah, of course.
I just would see her in my head all the time. And so...
Well, you saw her face everywhere and you heard about her everywhere, you know?
Yeah. So there were like... It was kind of crappy because there would be like rumors that she would be found and then like nothing would come of it. Yeah. And it was just really tragic. So the FBI was quickly involved, and that guy, the land management ranger, Ronnie Lewis, he called the Presidio of Monterey Police Department and he told them to look into a guy named Charles Holyfield.
That's a very interesting name.
Yeah. So Charles Holyfield is a complete piece of shit. He is pure trash, and we hate him already.
Cool. I'm down. I'll hate whoever.
And Ronnie knew about him because he would have run-ins with him on the land, like when he would be like roaming. He would be like
lurking.
No, I mean it was stupid stuff like illegally fishing or poaching, and it was just like so.
Dude, find a hobby.
Yeah,
I guess
truly.
You found it, but like that's
so.
Sad.
Holyfield had previously been convicted of a sex crime in Fort Ord. And so Lewis, like, let them know, just put this guy on your radar, but nothing came of it.
Why?
Right. So, let's see.
Listen to tips. I mean, I don't know anything about being a police officer, but...
The case went cold for 21 years.
Shut your freaking face.
21 years.
No, cold. It didn't. Mm-hmm. That's your age now, right?
Yeah.
Okay.
In 2011, a suspect, the Charles Holyfield's ex-girlfriend, called the police and recanted her alibi for Charles because she said that she had been threatened. Her life had been threatened by him if she came forward. But she did it, and she withdrew her statement and told him that I don't have an alibi for him, which was crazy.
Oh my gosh.
So then, also there was no known cause of death. There was a lot of rumors about that too, which I won't go into because they were horrific, what they were saying. No 8-year-old should hear what I heard, but they were really, really terrible.
But I kinda wanna know.
Williams, Christina Williams' underwear had DNA in it. So she was raped by him, Charles Holyfield. And he was already in jail.
So they already had
him. Wow. And he was already in jail for kidnapping a woman at gunpoint.
Cool. So he is a piece of shit.
And he was previously convicted for sexually assaulting two teenage girls, but he was released.
Why was he released?
That's a great question.
Isn't it though? Like truly,
because it happens a lot,
all
and
actually,
I'm so curious
as to
why this country hates women so much.
And you just release sexual offenders,
teenagers, young children.
Yep.
But we're gonna.
Rena was 13 years old,
and we're gonna let them go.
Rena, that was my.
I know, Christina.
But
But anyway, so they're currently still in trial. He's being charged for her murder. They want the death penalty.
My God.
And I wanted to end on a positive note. Scholarship was established at UC Davis in her name, and there's still a memorial erected near her home in Fort Ord, and I drive by it every time I'm home.
Oh my God.
So she's gonna stick with me, like she's
forever.
She's my forever story.
Oh my gosh.
But yeah, that's what really just like, I was like, oh, it's not rainbows and sunshine all the time. Like there's bad things that you need to be aware of.
That's so scary.
Rest in peace, Christina. Like you will never be forgotten.
Ever. Yeah.
And,
Wow. That's a good story.
Thank you.
Yeah. My one that will stick with me forever though is Jean-Benet Ramsey.
Oh, 100%.
Yeah. Especially because she was born in Colorado and grew up in Colorado like I did,
Right.
So, but everybody knows that freaking story, so I was like, nah.
It's still, I just get so stuck on that. There'll be like, I'll go in waves, and I'll just be like, who the fuck did this? I mean, it was her family.
Yeah.
Someone in her family did it. They all know, and they'll never admit it, but it was definitely a family member.
I 100% believe that too.
Yeah.
Am I, law enforcement? Am I a detective? No. But they did hide a lot of things. The law enforcement did with that case. Oh, so crazy. Like they wanted to take her father to trial, and then like the sheriff or whatever. Off. Yeah.
Money and white privilege.
White privilege. Let's be real.
Yeah. Yep. 100% that.
Yep.
So anyway, fuck you, Charles Holyfield.
Yeah,
Hope you burn in hell. Can't wait for that to happen for you.
Yeah.
And
Yeah. Should we have to announce something way positive than
we do. We've been really negative this episode.
So bad. But also, well, again, we are reading once it comes out, May 28th, Stay Sexy, Don't Get Murdered, the definitive how-to guide by Karen Kilgariff and Georgia Hardstark, which is why we're reading these murders right now. Yeah. We're doing one more week of murders. This is our like favorite. But like not we don't need to explain it. I don't even need to go obviously there. It's just what
I don't know what it is.
I have like an idea. You said that you can do more than one though. Like look how quick that was for you. You know? Just do like a couple like we don't have to go in depth in detail. Like, you know, this isn't even in depth in detail.
I'll have to do some research.
Yeah.
Because, like, I love the heavy hitters. I'm kind of gross.
No, that's not gross. I'm
just so fascinated.
Oh, this one hit real hard. I was like, oh my God. Because, like, it was so close to home for you.
Very, very.
Like, literally in your home.
It was my home.
Yeah.
Yeah, that was a very intense. It was just a long time. Yeah. I just, as an 8-year-old, you know, trying to understand how a girl could be gone for that long and just hearing about her being gone.
And like, nobody knows where she is and she's not with her parents.
Mom,
and like
her mom is worried. Like, those are the things I was thinking of as an 8-year-old. Like,
absolutely.
I think I probably even thought, like, she's going to be in trouble when she gets home.
Oh, absolutely. You know, of course. Like, you're 8 years old. Of course you're going to think that, like, oh my God, if I was out past dark, my mom would totally ground me, you know?
Yeah. So
absolutely.
That was very crazy. Yeah.
Well, I mean, I feel like this last week, I worked out 7 days a week.
Right. Let's talk about those things.
Why not?
You did so good.
Thanks. I'm trying.
Glowing.
You know?
You are glowing.
No, not really. Look at all these breakouts from sweating so much.
Do you take your makeup off when you?
No, because I do it right after work and I keep forgetting to bring freaking makeup remover. I know it's a stupid
I have 2
excuse.
packs.
You do? Yeah. No, I can go get one. Don't worry about it.
Just let me take care of you, baby.
Thanks, Mom. But yeah, it's been nice. I feel great.
It's been
1 week since you looked at me. Cocked into the sun and said I'm angry.
Okay, you guys. We are drinking Lava Cap. Yeah. You guessed right.
Lava Cap. It is here. Oh, it is in our system. And it's good. I like really the
Burberry.
Okay, getting Lava Cap. But yeah, so anyway, it's been nice. What about you? What's going on with you?
Also, same with working out.
Killing it.
Yeah.
Also, your hair looks amazing right now.
No,
I pinky swear in the air.
No.
Your curls are truly perfect right now.
No.
Okay, fine, but they are. They are.
I hate when you lie to me.
I would never actually lie to you.
It just hurts my feelings.
I never would lie to you. No, I'm not kidding you. I pinky swear.
I haven't washed it in 3 days.
How is it not oily though? Because
touch it. It's oily. Get your fingers in there.
I want it.
Squeeze it.
It does not feel oily, Demi.
I mean, it is, but like,
oh, I'm so mad.
Don't be.
I kind of am.
I'm washing it. I'm cutting it off too.
No, you're not.
I know. I'm shaving it.
Shaving it.
Pick it.
But anyway.
Anywho.
Yeah, this was fun. It was depressing, but
I mean, we needed to get it out.
Yeah. No, absolutely. All of it. And we'll be back next week to talk about more Moida. And then we'll talk about
Karen and Georgia.
Yeah.
Our favesies.
Our faves. So
have a great week, guys.
Yeah.
And enjoy that 3-day weekend coming up.
Woohoo! Well, if you're in the United States anyway. It's not a holiday for
Take a 3-day weekend anyway.
Do you. Do what you want. Take a self-day.
Self-care is important.
Important.
Bye.
Love always.
Love always.